Hello guys, like I mentioned before, today I'm going to show you how I use the Fibonacci. Sorry it took so long, but I've been really busy and rarely find time to record content. But today I'll try to explain it as good as I can, and we're going to start it off on the 4 hourly time frame. And the first way to use the Fibonacci would be on bigger time frames, okay? The best way to use the Fibonacci. So for example, I don't have anything marked up yet, but let's just do a little something here. So what I did here is I took this low right here at 2954 and went to and put the fib on 3499, almost 3500, and let's make it a bit clearer. And for now, just watch what happened here. I like to observe the levels and see how it reacts on those levels. So for example, let's imagine we were back at this point, okay? Now I've put the fib from low to high, from swing low to swing high, and I watch how it reacts on the levels, okay? Here it went straight down, rejected the 382 level, and stayed between the 236 and 382 level, okay? Then it broke below, came back up, and this just continued. So then it came back to the golden level. I have marked it red, the 618. It closed below, but quickly went back up and stayed there. So then it came back down again on the 618, and from there it just went higher. Okay, this is one way of using the fib, just taking swing low to swing high. This is the why I put the fib here is because it was the last structural low. So these lows were broken with this one here. That's why I've put it back down here, and the high explains itself. So this is one way. Next thing I wanted to show you is this is a good example. So for let's take this low, and we're going with this high right here. So important thing here. Um, for me personally, I always try to draw my Fibonacci from the last low or last high breaking point. So most people would probably draw the Fibonacci from down here. We can also do that. But problem with that is it wouldn't reach my golden zone, my entry zone, the 618. So that's why I use this zone right here, this low right here. And if you're wondering why, see, you can see a structure here. Where's my here? You can see the structure right here, back down, back up, back down, up. And important thing here is this right here was the high which needed to be broken for me to use this low as the entry point. So this was the last high breaking structure low, and that's where I always try to draw my fib. So you can see it a bit better. Let's get rid of this for now. Again, you see this high here, this needed to be broken, and this high was broken with this move right here. That's why I use this low to draw the fib. So this is my swing low, and this up here would be my swing high. And now we can observe it came down to the 618 level, and from there it shot up. So how would my what would my entry look like? Simple. I would personally put a buy limit right here. Stops below the 786 level. If you want to be safe, you could, of course, if you want to enter manually, you could just uh, put the fib on, draw something like this, and then go back down to your lower time frame and just watch what happens. So this would be something I could do if I had time for it. So for example, if I'm not busy right now, I would have just went into a lower time frame in the M15 and observed the structure and observed how it reacted on a 618. But if you don't have time, if you're, for example, working and you need to put in the limits before you're going to work because you can't observe the trade at work, then you could just put a limit on there and wait for it to be activated. So yeah, again, just a limit at the 618. To be safe, you put stops below the 786, and you could either target the high, the swing high we used as the fib point, or you could just go for the extensions of the Fibonacci, which would be at 3, 4, 10. But this trade would run a bit longer if you take the extensions. For example, it would have even reached the second extension of the fib. And yeah, but you would have been good with just going for the highs right here. Almost a 1 to 3 risk reward, which is fine because the goal is to make money, not to be greedy, okay? So this is one example. We can also go down to the lower time frame and look for entries right here with the Fibonacci. I can show you an example also. Just have to find one before. Um, if you've if you if you've been trading for a long time, you don't really need to use the Fibonacci. Like you don't need to put it on the chart. You can see it with your eyes basically at some point. And I'm just going to go through here and look for a good example. So this could be a good example. So again, same thing here. We are in the 1 hour time frame. Why I took this low, simple because it was the last low created before breaking this high right here. Again, what happens here? We created structure, shot up, then came back down to the 618, and then back up. Simple, very simple. So again, Same thing here. If you don't have the time to observe the trade, you just put on a limit right here. Stops below the 786 level. And again, you target the high of the fib, or you go with the extensions. Same thing. It's pretty simple if you are used to it. And we can do one more example on the H1. This is more likely the 786 level. So let's see. So low to high. Again, here you would have gotten the 786 level. So again, if you've put on a long position, if you use limits, you most probably you would have gotten stopped out here. Depends on what you target. So playing safe, you could just go below the low. I don't do that, to be honest. I just go for below the 786 level. And depending on how you use the stops, if you don't get greedy, you could just take this, put it at the halfway line between the 786 and the 1 point of the fib, and it would have been a good trade. Going for the extensions here, 1, 2, 3 with the reward looks good to me.